say take two. This is my second attempt. My camera went down for some unknown reason, but I'd like to welcome you again to Morning Manna on this 18th day of January. It's just 1 month away from my twin brother's birthday, and yet several months away from spring and summer. I don't know about you, but our house is really looking forward to spring and especially summer. But when we think about the weather getting warmer, there's going to be a lot more bugs, a lot of more of the creepy, crawly things, much of whom are dormant right now. And when we think of bugs, there is a vast diversity. There are bugs that make us cringe, like cockroaches and maybe earwigs, and there are bugs that annoy us, like gnats and mosquitoes. There are impressive, fascinating bugs, like dragonflies. And then there are bugs that are kind of non-impressive, even pitiable. Things like worms or grubs or little caterpillars. I mean, if you stop and think about it, for the most part, this last category, they're not very impressive. They can't fly. They don't have cool defenses. They're not really captivating. They can't go very fast. They just go about life slowly, kind of trudging through the day, trudging around, slowly munching on things, not too exciting or intriguing. And when you think of the world of the caterpillar, it is pretty dull. It's dirt and branches and leaves and mud and predators and danger. I mean, its perspective, it can only maybe see a couple inches at a time, and it doesn't go anywhere fast. But what intrigues us most about, especially about caterpillars, isn't their life as a worm. It isn't their first phase of life. What intrigues us about caterpillars is what they will become. I mean, people even have caterpillars as pets. They'll say, yeah, it may be a bit of a worm now, but wait, in time it'll become so much more. And sometimes our Christian lives can seem a little like that. We feel insignificant, unimpressive. We can't see very far. We can't go very fast. Our lives are mostly monotonous, leaves, branches, dirt day after day, maybe some danger. Maybe we feel vulnerable. And in that sense, we are right. We are a little more than worms. But listen to what Paul wrote the Corinthian church in 1 Corinthians 2 9 and 10. And keep in mind that Paul was a guy that had had a near death experience where he actually saw into heaven. And he wrote in 1 Corinthians 2 9 and 10, he says, no, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. But God has revealed them to us through the Spirit. Later in that same letter to the Corinthians church, when considering the second phase of our physical existence, Paul, as Christians, Paul wrote, if for only this life we have hope in Christ, we of all people are to be pitied. Paul was saying there's something more. This life isn't it. There's something more, something vastly more. The Apostle John, in his second letter, or in his first letter, he wrote about this second phase of our existence. He also wrote of it, of this transformation. In 1 John 3 2, he said, beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And everyone who has this hope in him purifies himself just as he is pure. We don't know yet what we shall be, but we know when he is revealed, we'll be like him. It's talking of a transformation. And that will be wonderful to be set free of our bodies that are prone to sin, our bodies that are broken down or are in the process of breaking down, our bodies that are limited like the caterpillars, to be like him. This is our hope, our motivation for trying to choose to live a righteous life in the midst of temptation or in the midst of evil that's all around us. Not for this life, but for the life to come. But this transformation is not only for us, for those of us who are living now, but for all of those who have lived in Christ. Maybe even though they have maybe already died. Paul writes to the Thessalonian church in 1 Thessalonians 4, verses 13 through 18. He says, but I do not want you to be ignorant, brother, concerning those who have fallen asleep, referring to those who have died, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring him with those who sleep in Jesus. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord, that's our great hope, the coming of the Lord, when we'll be transformed. The coming of the Lord will by no means precede those who are asleep. Verse 16, he says, for the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, going back to this coming of the Lord, with the voice of an archangel and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds and meet the Lord in the air, and thus we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore, comfort one another with these words. And that's the best part. Not merely our transformation, not merely going from being worms and caterpillars to butterflies, being set free of this body of death, as Paul would write, this body of sin. That'll certainly be great. What will be great is that we will always be with the Lord, and that should bring us great comfort. So if you're starting this day or continuing this day, just kind of trudging through another day, nothing exciting in your day, in our lives, just a lot of dirt, a lot of sticks, and leaves, possibly even feeling vulnerable, uh, danger around, and there's not much you feel you can do about it. Remember, this isn't all that there is. Remember that our lives as Christians will have a second phase, an eternal phase. And remember, as we're trudging through this day, the hope of the caterpillar, that too is our hope, that when we see him, we shall be as he is, and that we will be with him forever. Have a great day. Ciao.